Morning, everyone. Made it, everybody. We made it to Friday. I want to highlight. I'm modeling my new sweatshirt, College of Charleston, today. Um, my daughter, who some of you know, my daughter Avery just graduated from College of Charleston, down in Charleston, South Carolina, in last month. So she graduated a semester early, which we're appreciative of because it saves mom and dad a little bit of money. And cum laude and president's list, I think like 8 semesters. So we're very, as many of you are, very proud of her. Many of you proud of your own kids. Obviously very proud of her. And she's contemplating her future. She's working, but contemplating her future, grad school, perhaps law school. Taking some time to do that, which is, I think, a good thing to make sure that the next step is the right step. So, for whatever's that worth, I'm representing today. So, we had a great first round of shot clinic at Gate Circle a couple of days ago. It went very, very well. And I know the residents there are looking forward to their second shot, which actually happened the 17th of February. I want to thank Laquita down there, and the other staff members who really have done a nice job organizing that, and it went off very well. Of course, the big day here in Williamsville is February 2nd, and again, I know the residents are really looking forward to that. I want to shout out to the staff members who have been working with the individual residents to get them ready. Christy Seacrest has been working with the residents in Trafalgar, Susan Arthur, the residents in Essex and Lexington, Charlene Schaefer, the residents in Bedford, Tracy in Cambridge, and Mike Marone at the residents in Kent. So what they've been doing is they've all been assigned the individual villages and just making sure that the residents are ready and that they know what to expect and they know what the paperwork to be filled out. And I know that sometimes Walgreens throws us a curve, and making sure that we can respond to that. So all those folks that I just listed have done a great job and communicating with the residents, and they'll actually be going door to door with the pharmacists next week, getting the residents ready and so on. So thanks to all of them. I still want to remind people that we are still testing as mandated with the state of New York, and we will be until they tell us that we don't have to anymore. But we're still testing the majority of our staff members twice a week, and that's going to continue again until the New York State Department of Health tells us that we don't have to do that anymore. It'll probably eventually go back down to once a week, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But again, that is it's a lot of money. It's a tremendous investment that we have to make, and it's staff intensive as well. But that continues to go on. We still are requiring testing for personal care aides that are coming in on the independent side and caring for independent residents. That has continued for several months now, and we're going to continue to require that for a bit. There'll be a time period where we won't, but as of right now, we are requiring that personal care aides continue to get tested once a week and continue to submit the results of that test. Again, eventually that will cease, but as of right now, that's going to continue. Many of our regular personal care aides, those that work for themselves and those that work for agencies, have been or are in the process of getting vaccinated. So what we've been able to do at Canterbury Woods, certainly the ones that work for agencies are getting vaccinated through those agencies, but at both Gate Circle and here in Williamsville, we've identified many of the personal care aides that are working for themselves and then working with independent residents, and we should actually offer them opportunities to get vaccinated right along with the residents that they provide care for. And I think the independent residents, those of you who use aides probably realize that. So many of the personal care aides are in the process or have been vaccinated, right along with the residents. Again, as you would hope, because they're in there providing intimate levels of care. So that's going on as we speak. One of the questions that we're going to continue to get is, when are we going to change visitation? And I can tell you that we have not made any decisions on visitation changes in terms of people coming into on the independent sides of the communities and back to spending time overnight, et cetera, et cetera. We won't make any changes that going into effect before the second shots at each community. So those are coming up. The first shot here in Williamsville next week, the second shot. So nothing will change before our independent residents get their second shot. So from a timing perspective, if you're out there thinking about visitation, it's going to be, that'll open up in earnest sometime after the residents get their second shot. Now, I know that there's many family members that are getting shots as well. They may be clinicians or somewhere on that scale. So for folks that have gotten their second shots that are eager to come in to Canterbury Woods to see their loved ones who are in the process of also getting their second shots, that'll be easy. We'll probably just make you give us proof, a fax, something, a picture of the card that you get showing that you got your second shot. But the final details on all of this in terms of visitation, we're going to work out next week in terms of the timing and so on. But I can tell you that we are working on it. We're not working in lockstep with what New York State's doing in terms of yellow zones and orange zones and so on. Just because you hear New York State lifting this and lifting that does not mean that we have to, nor would we, in terms of visitation, lift or change anything that we're doing as a community. We're going to continue to do what we feel on the conservative side is the most safe and beneficial to our entire resident population here. And it just makes sense to, we've waited this long, it just makes sense to wait until after the second shots are given and then gradually open up visitation as well. So more to come on that. I just wanted to let people know that we are working on that, and I will have something next week, both at a town hall meeting and writing, memo style for residents to let them know where we're going with visitation. So thanks everybody, and have a nice weekend.